Here we go. Hi, I'm Bran, and I love Hallmark fall movies.
Brian, I like Hallmark fall movies.
I'm Dan. I despise Hallmark fall movies, and this is the
Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast. Brandon and friends host his podcast. We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Well, hello, everybody. The week is here.
Yeah, it is.
Man, this is the last.
Get these fall decorations out of here.
That, tomorrow, and whenever we're...
Yep.
This is the last you're going to see these fall decorations for those of you watching on Philo.
CCC ya, right?
CCC ya. Philo.tv/DTH if you want to see our fall decorations. I do think it looks nice.
It does.
But we are going to get them out of there. We have a Christmas tree, a Christmas set. We should have put it on wheels.
Ooh,
this is something to think about next.
Yeah,
we just wheel
there. We have it on.
as we get to the end
This is
of
just for us. Huh?
as we get to the end of Thursdays. Thursday's a big day because we're doing our When Calls to Heart finale thing.
Yeah.
But also the ranking episode because we'll be done, and we got to get that done before the kickoff. So the end of the ranking episode, we just wheel it over.
When does the ranking episode air?
Thursday.
Is that 98 and 99?
That's 98 and 99. Yeah.
Wow.
999. Yeah. I mean, what can you do?
There's nothing you can
There's
do.
nothing you can do. There's only so much you can do.
It's just math. It's just how the
Let
numbers-
me ask you guys this: how are you preparing for marathon? How are you getting in the marathon shape? I know a lot of people, there's like those apps out there like Couch to 5K or whatever to get you ready, like run this much. When the marathon doesn't involve running, how do you prepare for a marathon?
I can tell you this. I hope that setup goes quickly on Friday.
Okay.
We're going to be setting up at the courtyard.
We'll be setting
Imagine
up.
if it doesn't.
If it doesn't, that's a long day because I'm hoping that I can get a few hours of sleep.
Are you going to sleep during the day?
That day. At some point that day.
How can you do that?
I can listen. It doesn't.
You fall asleep right
I could.
now?
You could fall asleep.
I've just had
I've
a
got a
bunch of
big
caffeine.
Diet Coke,
Caffeine.
so-
I don't know if I could write the second.
I could never.
Caffeine.
Caffeine.
I've had the caffeine.
The caffeine.
Hey,
Do that thing you did yesterday with the accent, the Australian
Wiley
accent.
Wallaby.
It's really good.
Licorice.
It's really good. If only we had a character. If only we had a
we don't
person.
do that though.
No, we don't do
No,
that.
not
We
here.
don't do voices.
I'm gonna try to get some sleep on Friday, Brand. That's the plan. What about
That's-
you?
I just kind of hope for the best. Really, that's all I can really do.
That's why you get in trouble. That's why you end up puking
But you
up
know what?
cookies
But I am gonna respect it. You know, in
haven't in the
marathons in
past.
prior years when we start at 6 a.m.
That's right.
That you're coming out of no food.
Last year, you showed
right.
so little respect to the marathon. Last
yeah,
year, if you
Last
remember.
year you didn't respect
so
it at
little
all.
respect.
If I am sick again this year,
You
we
were
just need to call it.
so sad to not be there.
It was the most sad I've ever been in my life.
The saddest you've ever been in your life.
Sorry,
I
Grandma.
believe it. Yeah. I believe it.
She's great, but she's not a marathon.
Right. You're
You know
a
what I mean?
marathon.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Guys, we're talking about the last Hallmark Channel movie for Fall into
Fall
Love.
Field Day. You know how they do them.
Yeah.
The Fall Field Day. This movie, we had the opportunity to go see it at Christmas Con in Kansas City, and
We did not.
instead we did not.
That's right.
Yep.
We went to what was the name of that establishment?
J. Peterman's.
J. Peterman's. No, we went to it was the double decker dinner.
Yeah, I know. It's
pizza
a
place.
double play dugout. What
Double
was it
play
called?
dugout, and we spent so much.
Coaches.
Was it Coaches?
I feel like it was
Yes.
Coaches.
It can't be Coaches,
It
right?
was.
Pull your mic closer,
I'm looking it up.
producer.
We
Aaron.
had the whole room.
Why do you
to
say
ourselves with
Coaches?
those other people.
I don't know. That's what
I think it
my
was
brain
Coach.
said in this moment.
Coaches sounds like a place we shouldn't be holding.
Coaches Bar and Grill,
Yeah,
Overland
yeah.
Park.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Don't get mad at me.
So why don't you read a book, Bran?
And we drove there when we could have walked there.
could've
right?
walked it.
Could've.
That's
Yeah.
what it was.
Up,
yeah.
skip, jump.
But the
We didn't know.
You know,
We didn't know. You
we
don't
had a
know.
bar tab we couldn't reach.
Yeah.
That is true. We
Get on
tried.
the bottom rung of that
So
ladder.
hard.
The unobtainable barb tab.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Didn't
we
know it
ended up
existed.
$800 out of pocket there.
Stayed 30 minutes longer.
Is there
than we were
anyone
supposed
in the
to.
room that wants a
Should
shot?
have gone to the other room and been like, come on into this room
Yeah,
and we'll
come-
buy you a
yeah,
free drink.
yeah, come on
Now
in.
it sounds like we're predators. It doesn't sound like
It wasn't like
That sounds like a place called Coaches.
It does.
Yeah,
You're
it
right.
does. You're right.
We did multiple shots because
We did.
Yeah.
we bought
Had
a
to.
lot.
Yeah,
And
the
then we
double
didn't
play
even-
dugout would never.
Double play dugout. They work with you. Double play dugout works with you to get to where you need to be. Coach is like, no, here it is. Are you guys ready to talk about Field Day?
Oh,
Boy,
I
am
can't
I.
wait to talk about this movie, Brian.
October 14th, 2023 is when it premiered, and it went a little something like this. The movie
Australian
kicks
accent.
off with
Wily
oh,
Wallaby.
there's so much fall scenery. Anyway, so much fall scenery to kick off this movie. We meet 3 different moms: Jen, Marissa, and
Andy.
Kelly. Come on, guys.
Right there.
We both went with something that ends with an E.
Yeah,
Or Y.
that's good.
Yeah.
Jen,
EY.
EY. Sound. Not
Jen, who no longer her husband's dead, is dropping
Hard to
off.
explain that sound to your kids.
What?
Like the Y on the end of
An
words.
E,
it's
yes.
like E. It's like it's an E. It's like, but it's
But
not
it's
an
not
E.
an
It
E,
sounds like
it's
an
an
E.
E
What does
sound.
that sound? That sounds like an E. And they're like, E. Like it's a Y. What's
a
wrong
Y.
with you? What are you learning?
Brian's working on a tight 10 for the Chuckle Hut.
Chuckle Hut right next to coaches and the dugout. Digger.
Right in between double play dugout
Yeah.
and
You can-
coaches
you can walk
is
there.
the Chuckle Hut. Yeah, and we don't have a bar tab there.
No, we never will.
What's
Never
up
will.
with Y's? That's why it's
It's
sometimes
an E.
Y.
That's right.
Sometimes
Y.
Y.
We
The other
figured it
times
out.
it's an
We
E.
figured it out.
She
Mostly
lost
vowels.
her husband's dead, and she's dropping her kid off at school. She realizes that she left. The lunch has been left, and so she
crushing it so
well, she
far.
didn't leave her lunch,
A
but her
plus.
daughter left
Yeah.
her lunch, and so she tries to run in and give it to her. She's in her PJs. She bumps into Dan,
Joe for that guy.
a PE teacher named Dan.
A coach named Dan.
A teacher there, and luckily a hunk. On her way out, she meets Marissa, who seems to
Coach is
be.
named Dan.
I don't know. I would say Marissa's a
Maybe
hotshot
dugout
deal
double play
maker.
later.
I don't know for sure. But she desperately wants to avoid being assigned for the field day at the PTO. Is that what it's called? PTO?
This movie,
It is the PTO. She doesn't want to be avoided. She shows up late and finds out others don't want it, and then realizes you don't.
That's not
want
who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Marissa.
it. Well, Marissa definitely doesn't want to sign up for the field
No,
day.
never.
Jen doesn't know that, didn't really know that the PTO was meeting, and so she decides to show up, and they both end up with field day, along with Kelly, who is like second in command, kind of. I don't know. What's the problem with field day, you might be asking yourself? I know I was. Apparently, best we can figure, it's war, and there's fighting involved. It's a lot. And so they meet for the first time. It's hecka awkward, as the kids say. Jen and Dan, though, they keep bumping into each other, and sparks are flying. Jen, Marissa, and Kelly, they kind of start hitting it off. Maybe this is what home looks like. I don't know. They're doing a corn mazes, they're baking, they're sneaking into influencer events in the middle of the day. It's awesome. She gets a text from Dan asking if he can call her to ask her out, which is a, step before the step. But she's nervous about getting back out there, but she decides to go for it. They go out, and he talks about how he had his heart broken, and then she opens up about the loss of her husband, and so they kind of talk themselves out of dating. Like, this isn't the right time. When she gets home, her mom gives her a video from her late husband to watch when she's quote unquote stuck, and he tells her to do a few things. One, live, and tell me if you heard this before, laugh, and then love.
What?
And so the next day she finds Dan, and she says, I want a do-over. Great, this is wonderful. It's finally time for field day, but there's a bit of a snag, a bit of a hiccup. They were supposed to have a mobile ropes course crew come in and set up ropes for coursing, but he won't set it up because there's a 40% chance of rain. Bad news. That 40% becomes 100%. It rains. And to make matters worse, the sprinklers turn on and ruin the stuff that's covered by the tents. In the midst of trying to save today, Dan reconvinces himself that it's not going to work out. So they decide not to go for it. Man, talk about a roller coaster. Then she gets into an argument with Marissa and Kelly, but then they make up. It's all good. And then she and Dan decide to go for it again. They move field day into the gym, and it is a hit. It's a hit. Jen, Marissa. It was a hit. Jen, Marissa, and Kelly celebrate the successful field day by taking some pictures at the photo booth. And then Dan really does go for it and tells Jen that he's falling in love with her and whispers in her ear that she's smart and sexy. And then they kiss at field day. And that, my friends, was Field Day.
Field day real quick
You
there.
said it so fast.
Places
That
to
was
be.
field day.
We did it.
I thought I would say it before
and
I
that,
asked.
my friends, was field day.
That was the Coach Aldrich move.
Yeah. It's like you're not here with us. So you just like, hey, Brian, we need you to record field day real quick.
Just press play.
Field day.
Yay.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll break this movie down. Here on
Deck
Deck
the
the Hallmark.
Day. Hey,
Oh, hell.
here we are.
Hey, everybody. Last Thursday in the office, Dan,
Yeah.
Brian was sitting in my chair.
Yeah.
And he did this thing where he went like this.
Did
Did
I?
he?
Yeah.
Did I do
That's
that?
a weird thing for you to remember the exact
Yeah.
day it
I
happened on.
remember it like it was
I
yesterday.
feel like I did it today too for some reason.
Were you
Saying
like
something
plotting?
to
You have an
you.
evil scheme?
I
You're
might
plotting?
that I don't want to talk about yet.
You said, I've got an idea.
Get some thoughts.
Let me think about it. Let's break this movie down. Let's start with the join me, please. The hot take.
take.
Very
Field
good.
day.
Exactly how we felt about this movie. We do not hold back. I'm going to start with you, Brian. Brian, go.
Okay. This
Field day.
one, Field Day. This one caught me by surprise. I don't know
Oh.
if you guys felt the same. I think I was looking forward to it because the Benjamin Ayers of it all. We're all psyched about him. But I didn't expect what I got from this. And what I got from this was a blast. I had a blast watching this movie. I got to listen to Bran watch part of this movie.
Yep.
And even that,
You got to listen
yeah,
to
because I
Bran
was
watch
working
it?
in the other room.
Okay.
Bran was watching in another room.
It premiered. Okay, whatever.
So I was a little off schedule.
You were working on a Sunday morning? Was that this morning? Or
Yes,
what,
I was in the, I had to come in, do some stuff. I got to overhear some audio of him watching, and the whole situation, the Mean Girls vibe.
I got a screener. All right, guys, back off. I got a screener.
Okay, fine. A little poke behind the curtain. He got a screener.
I'm sorry.
You got to screen it, watch it live, and support the network.
I'm sorry.
But when I watched it, when I did finish, the first thing I said was, I'm going to watch this live too, because I want to see it again, because I liked it that much.
Okay.
Spoiler alert for my hot take, I liked it a lot.
Wow.
You watched it again live?
Yeah, you got
With
to.
commercials?
Yes, to show my support out of respect, like anybody would do when they like something.
Okay.
It was very funny. Like the part, there were parts where I laughed out loud that I was so happy that they did what they were doing that it was just genuinely funny. They lost me a little bit with the whole field day of it all. Like
Yeah, the whole title of the film?
when we got to the part where we actually had to go through the motions of the thing that they named the movie, I was like, okay, we're kind of grinding down to a halt a little bit. But it started so strong, and it was so funny and so fall feeling, like Brand you mentioned there,
Thank you.
that yeah, I really, really like this movie. So that was a great job.
I love this movie. I will say, Dan, please, for the love of everything,
I've said nothing.
Your thoughts are louder than your voice, if that's
true.
possible. I love this movie. I do agree with what Brian has stated. The field day was trash. But I thought that Rachel Bloss and Benjamin Ayers had chemistry for days. I thought, and I'll get to it in my feels, but I cried real tears during this movie. An absolute delight for the last fall movie of the year. Big fan. Dan, take us down.
Take us down.
Down a notch.
Listen, I love Benjamin Ayers. We've had Rachel Boston as well, both of them on the program. Wonderful people. This movie's trash. It's called Field Day, and the field day sucks. Because you don't have field days in autumn. That's why it sucks, is because it's a mishmash of ideas and themes that don't work under a fall banner. The writing is quick and snappy. I'll say that. I think it's a Julie Sherman Wolf joint.
It is.
And so it does have some zingers, which keeps it out of that lowest ranked tier. But I did not enjoy this movie. I thought it was real awful. I felt like it was really long. I felt like it was an extended group party planning movie.
Okay.
I did not agree with the
That's
chemistry
offensive.
take from Bran either. In fact, I just kind of like cringed a little when we got the sexy comments. I thought that was weird.
think we all did,
Yeah, I think we all did too. People can have chemistry and me still not like it hearing you call someone sexy.
Yeah,
Like,
I didn't. Not much of this worked for me. Ayers is always good. Boston's always good, but it just didn't come together and coalesce into a movie that I cared about the ending or ever wanted to watch again. Not good. Pretty terrible. And then Brian coming in hot with. He told me earlier. I don't know if he stands by it or not. Brian said this is the best of the year.
Well,
well,
not exactly.
but this is important. This is important
This is
to
big
Brian,
But that's
as
what he
everyone.
said.
I
No.
understand, but
That's
as
the first when you walked in there, you went best of the year.
everyone
paper.
knows,
On paper.
as
Okay.
everyone knows,
Okay.
Brian has a scientific
Yeah.
way of valuing these movies that doesn't necessarily correlate to how he actually feels. It's very confusing. But
layers.
if you get it, you get it.
Yeah.
And I get it.
So scientifically, it's the best
on
of the year.
paper, my ranking numbers wise, it's the highest rating that I've given a movie this year that I've watched. And it's not the one I would pick to sit down and watch first, but it's in the top
The ranking
handful.
episode comes out in 2 days, and I swear to everything good and decent. If this is anywhere near the number
I don't
one,
think you have a say because two
Yeah,
is
get
more
ready
than
to be
one.
disappointed.
Brain, you're going to have it near the top of the list.
I'm not gonna. I will. I mean, let's save it
Plenty
for.
of room
Let's
at
say,
the top.
There's 60
Let's save
movies.
it.
60 movies we're ranking. This ain't in the top 10.
Let's save it for episode 999. But
Let's.
yeah, I think you're gonna be pretty bummed.
Yeah, I think I am too.
And that's kind of cool. It's time for all the feels. This is where we talk about what in this movie gave us all of those fall feels, love feels, whatever it might be, feels of any sort.
Yeah.
Bry guy.
Yeah, good emotional feels, but the feels that were just overwhelming to me in this were the fall feels. Like they crushed the fall vibes of it all. I wanted cider more than I've ever wanted cider for some reason, hot or cold.
just feel like
However,
we're watching different
I just
movies,
want
man.
cider. They just made it sound so good. In this movie, they felt so cold and cozy because it felt cold.
See-
because it was cold. Clearly in the movie, it was very cold.
Go ahead. But
And
I'm going to
then-
do mine next,
Yeah,
Brand.
please.
I'm skipping you.
And then they're all wearing big sweaters, and I'm like watching. I'm like, man, I wish I were.
Is your feels to snow?
No, that's not my feel. It's just being cold in general and wanting to wear warm clothes, which thanks to the new HVAC system, I'm getting to do.
That's
Lots
right.
of layers in this office.
Yeah,
Now I
you're
wish I
welcome.
wasn't cold, but
I was going to say I had winter feels because this movie didn't give you any fall feels at all. It's freaking cold out there.
it did snow.
You can
There is a scene
There's
in
a
the
scene
snow.
where it's actually snowing. The corn is dead and frozen in the corn maze. There are no fall
Well, that's how
feels.
you want it though, because
But-
you don't want to easily fall into like you
This
want it to
is
be
in a-
solid.
True.
This is in a brisk 47 degrees, a sweater and a cup of cider. This is winter.
Yeah, it's coming
There
on.
is they are trying to shoehorn. It's just as bad to me as when they make a fall movie in the summertime. I didn't get any fall feels in this movie. I was like,
unbelievable.
what are you talking about? They're doing a field day in the dead of winter in this movie.
What happened
And
to you this day that you
Everyone
watched
is
this movie?
everyone is
Same thing that
freezing
happens to
cold.
him every day, Brian.
day is heart
Everyone's
froze.
freezing cold in this movie. They look uncomfortable.
it's cold.
It's not. No.
But it makes you want some cider and a sweater. No? Okay.
May as well be Christmas time if it's going to be that cold out.
Let me paint the picture for everybody. I got a screener for this movie. I've already said that. And
I could not believe this scene worked as well for you as it
I
did.
came in. Let me set up
Set
the
the
scene.
scene.
Please
Trying
paint the
to set
picture,
the
Brand.
scene.
I come in here.
Carol.
I brought my own wings.
Did.
And I'm watching this
Nostalgia
movie.
wings, if I remember.
Nostalgia wings. I got them from Palmetto Fine Foods. I went to drop something off at my wife who works now at our
How'd
old
that go
office.
for you?
It's fine. And I was like, you know what? today's right. Today's the day. So and I haven't been back since. And so I got the nostalgia palmetto wings, and I came in here and I watched my screener, and we get to the point to where she gets the little thumb drive, and it's a video from her husband. And I don't know, man. Maybe I just like love my wife more than everybody else, but like the thought of losing somebody and then getting a video like 2 years later and it hitting right when it needs to hit. Yeah. 100% tears down my face. And, it was wonderful. It was a magical moment, and I thought it was great. And also the wings still work for me.
That guy who's the dead husband, Matt Clark, he's been in a lot of other Hallmark movies like #Xmas, a few others. I thought that scene was manipulative, but his performance in that
When are
scene,
you going to learn that I love being manipulated?
I didn't say
scam.
I didn't say I think you should think it's manipulative. I just said I thought it was manipulative. I'm just giving an opinion for me, buddy.
Yeah,
you'll be okay.
Typically, it makes me cry, and I'm fine with that.
What I'm saying is that his performance in that scene was phenomenal. Like, and normally he's just an afterthought, like fifth on the call sheet guy. But that performance made me think we need to get that guy a movie.
You need to get that
Matt
guy
Clark.
a movie. Get Matt Clark a movie. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back with the Wait, What, and the What the Hallmark here on Deck the Hallmark. Yep, we're back. It's been one break, and since we're back,
It's been two breaks, but
it's been
since we
one
were back
break.
last,
It's been a break since we were there. Hi everybody, welcome back. It is the final fall movie of the year, and it's time for the Wait What's. Brian, what you waiting and what you wasn't for field day?
Yeah, so this started at the first day of school, and immediately it's full on 100% fall everywhere. There's decorations.
Well, it's not. It's the first day of school for her.
Oh, you think school had already started?
Yeah, they just moved there.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, I thought it was everybody's first day of school. Everybody was doing first day of school pictures, though.
Were they?
Remember that? Yeah.
I was on I thought that they say that school's already started, and
I think
That
school
is
has
her
already
first day.
started.
I thought all three of the families were doing first day of school.
you know what? They do that. That's true.
Yeah,
they do take pictures at the beginning.
I didn't think it was the first day of school.
I
but
think it was.
All right, great.
But it might, either way, if it was, I thought it's too early for all this fall stuff. Like as much as like when school starts, yes, I want fall.
This guy who went on a whole thing about the fall. It's too early.
What are they doing?
I want that first day of school, but typically it's still really hot, and it's just you're not quite there. So I thought that I was like, I feel like it's too early for that. But I mean, it worked obviously for me. The Bake Off with no recipes, like I just didn't get that at all.
Oh my gosh!
It was just
of course,
like,
that's the
here are
thing
your
that you're.
ingredients. Here are your ingredients. Make something. You
Yeah, he's
can't
going to put
follow-
this at the top of the rankings list. I don't even like.
I mean, good. I
This
don't
isn't
know
even
if
a top
I'm not-
three fall movie of this year.
Well, I
Notes
disagree.
of Autumn,
Yeah, it was good.
3 bed, 2 bath, 1 ghost.
I don't know. That was good.
You-
I like
but
this. I like this better. Than
I would
that.
do Field Day
What?
over that. Yeah,
I like Notes of Autumn more than this. But
This isn't even a
Yeah.
top 3 fall movie this year
for you.
and you
You're-
guys are
For
number
you.
1 over here.
You're
on the
being
rankings.
manipulative.
So you're being manipulative. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
Nailed it.
not.
Yeah.
Just being
It's
straight
a
up
really
with you.
funny movie. Really good.
But you're saying it in a way that can be manipulative.
I'm not.
If you say your truth, but you say it like, hey, if you have a tone that makes people feel dumb if they
That's
don't agree with
right.
you, and that's what you're doing right now.
If you're reading that, that's on you.
Well,
That's
Dan,
on
I'm
me.
just here. Listen, I think this is
That was
important.
like in, I'm
We've
sorry
talked
if
about
I
this in
offended
marriage
you.
counseling, and
That's Dan's like, I'm sorry if I offended you.
Right.
I'd
Why?
never do that. If
Like-
I'm sorry, I'm going to tell you I'm sorry. I'm not sorry here. I want to be
he's
very,
not.
very
He's
clear.
not sorry.
Oh, we know. Okay. So the Bake Off, no
one.
recipe, I just don't get that.
No recipes. How could they have a
I
bake
don't
off?
understand.
Just shut it down.
But
Cut.
I'm not talented enough to thrive in that scenario. They were having Daniel. You must have loved
Daniel.
this too. Daniel.
Daniel. Wiley Wallaby.
There it is.
Yeah.
When they were having that intimate dinner where they decided it wasn't going to be a date. See, I'm doing this again.
Yeah.
The hands.
Yep.
Did you watch a like?
I don't know why.
Dr.
Why are you
I'm
doing this now?
I'm doing it really good too. Like I'm
No,
hitting
it's
those
really
fingertips
impressive.
Right on. So when they were having an intimate dinner, they ordered their drinks and then they go into this whole thing about how they're not gonna be on a date. Blah 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 blah. so much time goes by and their drinks still did not arrive. It was minutes. And all I could think was, I was getting stressed out and distracted.
I would be losing my mind.
Yes. Like, just bring the drinks and get it over with.
Yeah.
Like, just bring them and then...
You've been out to eat with me. You know that wouldn't have played well.
Boy. Oh, boy. You want to ruin a meal quick. It's like, do not bring Dad a drink within 35 seconds. It's brutal. And I was just getting stressed out watching. Like, why wouldn't they just bring the drinks? Like, let's go.
Bring
move
the
things
drinks.
along.
That's true.
Holy cow. That's it for me.
I have a few. One, PTO's optional, right?
Yes.
So
we avoid it like the plague.
Yeah, just don't do it.
Right.
If it was between field day, which is apparently like the plague,
sure,
or just not doing PTO, just don't do PTO.
But it seems like if field day's the first thing up, which once again, we talked about this in one of the preview look back kickoff episodes, but the idea that field day would be in the first quarter of the school year is patently absurd.
Yeah.
Like, this is a spring movie. They decided to make in the winter, color correct for fall, and throw some pumpkins at you.
I'm impressed.
That's what this is.
I'm impressed by that.
It is just a hodgepodge beluga. But if field day is in the fall, then wouldn't you want, like, if you're on the PTO and you want to look like you're participating and it's big for you, I would just say rip it off like a Band-Aid and do field day. Couldn't be the worst thing, because then I've got my thing done and I don't have to be on the committee for whatever replaces field day in April or May, whenever they're supposed to do.
I don't know.
Schmealed day.
Or just don't do PTO.
Yeah.
The second time she meets Dan, she's in the gym and he comes in, he's wearing his shirt with his name on it, whatever, who cares? He throws her the basketball, and
basketball robot.
by the way, Falling for Basketball, I host a basketball podcast where I talk about it. I talk about basketball a little bit more coherently. She shoots the shots, and I talk gooder when you guys aren't breathing down my neck. When I have someone supportive like Antonio looking into my eyes.
Do you think that you talk gooder, or do you think that no one is correcting you, and so you think you're smooth sailing?
The absence of corrections.
It could be that, but the constant badgering of mistakes, it's hard to walk when someone's constantly jiggling the rocks below your feet. Yeah, go ahead, Aaron.
As someone who has listened to every episode of Falling for Basketball, I do think you speak gooder on that program.
Thank you.
Oh, great. Thank you so much,
I don't know if
Aaron.
that's a compliment or not.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Anyway, she shoots a shot and she makes it swish, and he's like, "You play, huh?" And maybe, but making a shot on a tops 8-foot hoop does not make you a baller.
Not even a little bit.
Like that, they could be had a dunk competition. That hoop is so low. So making a shot on a toddler's basketball hoop does not make you a baller. I don't know much about baking. It didn't bother me that they didn't have the recipes. I didn't really care about that. I thought the cake looked okay.
Same here. I had no problem with that.
Well, I thought the cake looked okay. They have the icing like melts.
Yeah.
But that's like
perfect.
That's a style.
It is.
The style of running down, like that's a style.
But if you tried to actually brush the icing on a cake that just came out, the cake would just fall apart, right? Like it wouldn't have set yet.
Exactly, right.
And they didn't do that. That would have ruined the cake.
Yeah, if it had just
that cake looked fine.
Yeah.
And I feel like I honestly fully expected it to come back around that they won or something. Yeah. Because the cake was so not bad.
It looked really good. It would look like it was like a professionally done.
But then it's like womp womp. Yeah. Cover it up.
Yeah. See you later.
Done. So they go to an influencer gathering, vodka thing, middle of the day, whatever. Again, that's just the way things go in this town, similar to field day in the fall. My problem is this is like anyone can pick the music party. Like everybody can just kind of put on whatever song they want to.
It's worse than that.
How so?
Not only do you pick a song from the app that you want.
That's wild.
It's
and
cool.
dangerous.
It is cool, but when you choose it, apparently it changes that song immediately.
Oh, you can cut
So
off.
one song is playing,
Yeah.
and as soon as you submit it, your song takes over.
It's gonna be a mess.
That is a
That's
mess.
gonna be a
they're
mess.
playing
Can't
New
do
Kids
that.
on the Block.
They sure
But-
are.
but-
Great.
which is great. It's a fun bit, but there's another song that's mid-song that's
Yeah.
playing, and it just jumps in.
I know. I
can't
got the
do
perfect
that.
song.
Yeah, and everybody just
What if
keeps
that
doing
was someone's perfect
What
song?
if that was somebody's perfect song? That's
Last
exactly
but
right.
not least, a guy does come out there, ropes course guy, and he's like, I can't set this up, 40% chance of rain. I do want to remind him his ropes course was up and thriving in the snow.
In the snow.
And you know what snow, and I
In
don't
the
know,
snow.
again, I'm not here to talk about that, but that seems way more dangerous.
It's almost like you're poking all the holes in this movie that needs to be poked.
it doesn't, but again, who cares?
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah,
It's a
I
good
do.
movie.
Who cares? Watched a video on a thumb drive, cried, eating nostalgic wings.
Nostalgic Wings.
Saw them live.
Saw them live. They were fantastic.
Really good.
Really good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brought me the feels. It wasn't manipulative.
No,
Earned
not
it.
at all. Earned them 100%.
Yeah.
Dano?
Yeah, the fall field day is the big one, and I know we've covered it, but it does need to be mentioned again. No school has a field day in the first quarter of the school year. Crazy town. You would never do it. There's too much going on. This town, do we know what town this is?
Yeah, Framingham, Massachusetts.
So it's
Oh my God. Calm down.
yeah, Massachusetts represent everybody.
In the house.
Where is that?
You answered
Western
that
Mass.
quicker than most people
So,
answer like 1 + 1 is
what's
2.
your wife's
What's how far from like Boston is it?
It's like 40, 50 minutes, an hour maybe, right?
Go ahead.
Framingham?
Yeah.
You did not live near Framingham, did you?
No, but
Okay.
it's out west.
15 minutes.
It's not 15 minutes from Boston. Get out of here.
Guys, there's an app. Like, can we?
It's 15
It's like
minutes?
15.
Well, I mean, with the traffic in Boston, it could be
Yeah.
2 miles.
You
and be
can't get to
15
Framingham in
minutes.
15 minutes.
from my house, you could get to Framingham in
Mass.
15, 20 minutes. And then from Boston, it's under a half hour.
You got
I've got it.
Mapping it?
Don't worry. Boston, Mass to Framingham, Mass.
Yeah.
It is 42 minutes. It's 20. It's 22
Wow.
miles, Aaron. There's no way you're doing
Well,
15
minimum
minutes.
90-minute drive.
Yeah, this is 45-minute boy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
maybe I just am not driving that. speed.
Have you been to
yeah,
Framingham?
have you been to Framingham? Here's the
Aaron's
thing.
getting to pick her own music.
Yeah.
She's like, it doesn't matter. It's
Regardless,
15 minutes.
Bobbin.
this is outside of
Like
a
half an
big
hour.
city.
Yeah.
And that gave me a great idea for Greenville. We need a midweek, midday vodka pop-up bar.
Why haven't they?
This happens in this movie where I believe they tell you later it's a Monday. A Monday at, I think, 10 a.m. They're in the mid-morning hours because the scene before that, they're like, we got to go pick up this thing, and nobody can go pick it up. And then they're all going to go blah, blah, blah. And then you see that there's a pop-up vodka bar
Yeah, you do.
at 10 a.m. on a Monday morning. Guys, what's going on?
You're saying it like it's a bad thing.
Yeah,
I'm
just
not
too
saying it
old
like
for
it's a
this,
bad
I
thing. I'm
think.
saying it like it's a non-existent thing. Can you imagine going down the streets of Greenville
Well,
and,
Dan-
and seeing a pop-up vodka
Listen.
bar at 10 a.m.
With
on
a
a
line-
Monday
with a
morning
line.
with a
The
line out
line
the
was the
door?
stretch.
You're not in, you don't run in those circles like I do.
You do.
This
Yeah.
is just,
Yeah.
this is an
Classic.
everyday occurrence
Yeah.
for me.
in the pocket
Yeah.
for Brand.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
it's in the pocket.
I was at the Wednesday 9 a.m. tequila bar. It would pop up. It
Well,
was
doesn't work.
fantastic.
Yeah.
So that's
we
ridiculous.
will have that though this weekend at the marathon. It's
Yeah,
gonna be a
well,
lot
it's
of fun.
different. That's
True. That's true.
So a lot of that takes place at night. Before that scene, the lead, Rachel Boston, talks to the other two ladies. I don't remember their names, but she basically says, we've got to go pick up this thing, and my car can't hold it. Can one of you guys do it? And one of them's like, I've got lunch plans. And then the other one says, I have Pilates. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Well, then they go to this pop-up bar and they're like, should we try to get into this pop-up bar and day drink instead? And the same woman that had lunch plans goes, I can cancel my lunch. And then Rachel Boston's like, I can put my work off till tonight. And then the third girl says, I never had Pilates.
Right.
She lied to those two women
Yeah.
so she wouldn't have to do her job
Yeah.
for the PTO.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
What?
Yeah. That seems
No.
fun. That seems fine.
You can't, three of you are working. The other two people can't do something. You could go pick it up, and instead you made up that you had Pilates to not do it, and they're just going to give you a pass on that? No way. No way. Bran.
It's not for me.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't crazy there because she just lied to get out of doing the work that they desperately needed her to do. And then they don't care at all. They're like, whatever, who cares? Also, the woman that's the lawyer, what's her name?
Marissa.
Marissa.
Yes.
It's cool that they make her the apparent breadwinner of the home and like career driven and independent, but also a great mom. I think that's really good writing. Why does she have to be on the PTO and not her schlubby husband, Tim?
Because he does everything.
Because Tim does everything else.
She said she would do this.
But if she's working around the clock and trying to be a good mom, why aren't there any dudes on the PTO? Like, why is it we had like there's no dudes on the PTO at all?
That's a good question.
I don't understand that. Like, maybe have some on there that are doing some work too. If we're going to really show that people can play multiple roles in society, then let's actually do that. Maybe I don't know what web designing is. Rachel Boston's job is a web designer, correct?
Something in similar.
I thought she said it was web designer.
I think you're right.
But at home, she's staging.
She's doing
photographs.
she's doing a lot. Yeah.
And if you're a web designer, you're not staging photographs.
Right.
You are designing the website.
She's really good
You're
at
buying
both
stock
of those
photos.
things.
Yeah. You're doing.
Or you're getting photos from
the photographer.
The photographer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she is doing them.
And maybe I just don't know
She's
what
a
that job
one-stop
is.
shop.
And then lastly, guys, no teacher PE coach has T-shirts made with their name on the front.
Not yet. But here's the thing.
I am not. No.
There was
I'm
a
not
time,
asking.
Dan. There was a time we didn't go to the moon. And now it's something that you
those
can
are the
regularly.
same. We couldn't even dream big enough to have names on the front of our shirts.
That's exactly right.
The fact that he has a T-shirt with his name on it is top 10 bad dumb.
Why didn't we?
If
print
we had
up
the bit
t-shirts?
budget, we would have done it. Boy,
All
bit
of
budget
us.
can get hairy real quick
Bit
if you're
budget
saying
could
too
get hairy
quickly.
hurry.
especially bit
But
budget.
don't we
Jay.
have a machine now that can
We
make
do. I think we
T-shirts?
do.
I believe we do.
Sure
right?
do.
Could we have made a shirt?
Have
Could
you
we
made
have
a
made,
shirt
could
yet?
we have
maybe?
made coach shirts?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Should we start over and make those
Yeah.
and then?
Let's start this over.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
start from the
Shut it
top.
down.
The people
Shut
won't
it down.
mind.
Shirts.
The people won't mind. It's time for What the Hallmark is, where we wonder what could have been, maybe happened because we cleared what we still have, and there it is. It's time, Brian, go.
I almost want to ask Julie Sherman Wolf this question because
Julie Sherman Wolf. Less confident with every word there. You
Julie
started
Sherman
off
Wolf.
out of the Julie Sherman Wolf.
giving each one a different take.
Michael J.
So
Brandon Sherman.
I have a. It's sort of a. I have a dream. It's sort of a wish. Like, I hope that this movie started. The kernel idea of this movie started with a live, laugh, love sign. And that was the whole, like, can you build a movie around that? And then Julie sat down and was like, I think I could do it. And then she came up with this entire movie.
If is there anyone who could, it would be her.
That's what I thought too. So
It's nobody you would trust more,
I
you would say.
would never put it in the hands of anybody else. So
Well,
that's
her and Rachel Lee Cook.
And Rachel Lee Cook.
Rachel
And you-
Lee.
It's
Cook.
just
Rachel
It's
Lee
just
Cook.
the three names.
You'll
You
get
gotta-
that joke in 3 days.
That was
No,
my
that
wish.
was yesterday.
Kickoff is this Friday.
Dang it.
Oh,
Yep.
man.
We've
Which
recorded
we
a
haven't
lot.
recorded yet.
No. So you don't. It was just a guess that there's going to be
Just
a
a
joke.
guess that joke will land in 3 days.
Premonition.
I have one, which is this. This movie ends with everybody getting together. They're all going to take a picture, a group picture.
Yeah.
They're all looking elsewhere. Go back and look. So we're seeing them, and they're like 1, 2, 3, and then the picture shows up, and they're all looking like to the left. What happened there? How did we? What was supposed to happen? Because what they're trying to do is show you, the viewer, that you're the camera now, and here we are.
Yeah.
And they take the picture, and then we see the picture, and they're all looking a different direction. It's very confusing. Dano?
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot. I would love to know how the tradition of the fall field day got started at this school,
Right.
And why they do it every year at this time. And I'd love to know why they decided to buck the trend of literally every other school in the country to do their field day in fall.
There you go. There you go.
Great.
We did, everybody. Congratulations. Panda couldn't make it today for Double Decker of the Week, and I think we are pausing Double Decker of the Weeks until the end of the year.
Yeah.
Little time on the field.
We do have some fun stuff planned for during the
I
holiday
wouldn't-
season.
I wouldn't worry about it too much. Yep.
But just wanted to give everybody the heads up there. We'll get back to it soon. We'll be back tomorrow with the final non-Christmas movie of the year, Curious Caterer, The Fatal Vows. Until then, maybe the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark is a Bramble Jam podcast. It's produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.